Name is Ike Johnstone. Right now we're at the Bill Picket Riding Academy, located on West River Drive in Montgomery, Fairmount Park, Philadelphia. When my kids were very young, like Lance, he was about 12 years old. I remember us going to a horse auction, and I wanted to buy him a cowboy hat, and Lance refused the cowboy hat. He said, "Dad, because all that's doing is imitating a white man." You know, he was just 12 years old. Then that's when I realized that he didn't understand the history of the black cowboys, the black West, and the contributions that African Americans played in it. So that's when I start getting material and stuff together so, you know, that my kids could read so they can get a true understanding. We're not imitating anyone. Belmont Stable was built to be a police stable back in the 30s. Matter of fact, 1936. It was to house the Fairmount Park guards, mounted guards, and they moved out of here about 1930. It was getting ready to fall down because it was vacant for almost like 30 years.
Right.
And so I like to think we came in here to save it. We moved in here to start a youth program to work with the youth, primarily in the Temple area. That's where it all, because I spent 30-some years of my life in Temple. I have 4 kids, they all graduated from Temple. So it was started to, like, as far as I'm concerned, to give back to Temple and to the kids in that area. With all my kids, we got involved in horses. And I like to think, and matter of fact, I know that it built up their self-confidence. I think the horses had a lot to do with that, with their success. So I just wanted to try this with other kids. The origin of the word cowboy is really a black person. Because during slavery, we were referred to as boy. We took to the plantation cow. So that's how the word came about. But a lot of people, so the word then got lost over the years, but it's really derogatory. You know, cowboy is referring to us. They were known as cattlemen and whatnot. And so now you got the Dallas Cowboys and everybody else, but they really knew the true origin of the word.
They lost some John Wayne films and stuff.
Yeah. So now everybody wants to be a cowboy. So it's that history that I end up trying to teach my kids. Now we pass that on, because that's one of the things we do down here is teach the history of the Black West and the Buffalo Soldier. Well, horses teach us a lot about ourselves, you know, and it teaches, for example, there are 3 human emotions that are incompatible with communicating with a horse. It's anger, fear, and patience. If you have any anger in you, the horse is going to pick it up, and you're not going to be able to communicate with the horse. So it teaches how to control your anger. Same thing with fear. There's one young man that comes to mind. He came here, his name is Muhammad. He would live here if I would let him, you know. He came here, and, you know, you couldn't understand what he was saying. He mumbled, you know, he was very, you know, and he's been here about 6 months now, and you can see the gradual change. And I can understand what he's saying now. He sticks his chest out when he does things, because kids that came through after him, he's like showing them what to do. So it gets that little peer thing. He walks around now with his chest out and whatnot, and they look up to him, you know. And then, so he's the one that come to mind. I really enjoy seeing these kids when they come in, they scared to death. By the time they leave, and there's smiles on their face, you know, and that's what keeps me going.